Hey everybody, this is Rudy Banks, and I'm gonna use Trello today. This is the first time, so I'm gonna show you what it's like to log in for the first time. Basically use it as fresh out of the box, right off the shelf. The reason why I'm using Trello, I'm trying to do a better job at planning my YouTube content as well as my blog content. I was using Google spreadsheets, sort of like Excel, and what I was doing was basically brainstorming, keeping a list of ideas and things that I wanted to share in the entrepreneurial, make money online, the marketing space. As you know, I left corporate America about 8 months ago, and I have an offline business and an online business. And so I've been really trying to put some content together to document the entrepreneur journey to help inspire others to take that leap. If you are considering, taking a new career step or stepping out in entrepreneurship, I'm your guy. So let's get started. So here's Trello. When you first go to the website, it's Trello.com. And first thing you're gonna do is click on sign up. So I just signed up a minute ago. So you basically put in your name, email address, and hit password. And then what's gonna happen, you're gonna get this. It's automatically gonna log you in. So I need to go to my email, check my email and confirm. So I'll do that real quick. So if I go to my email, I'm gonna confirm. All right, so now I'm in Trello. So it shows that I'm in. It's got my name, my profile. And so here's the basic view you're gonna get. First thing I want to do is create a team. I'm just going to call it Banks Media. Let me zoom in so you can see that a little bit better. How is that? Okay. Create. So I have a team, Banks Media. So I'm gonna use this as kind of like the umbrella for all of my online marketing, my digital media agency. Everything's gonna go under this. So now I can put colors. It looks like I can do sort, group, manage your teams. Okay, so I can close that out. Okay, I can change that, put a picture in there. Let's do that real quick. All right, so I got my Banks Media logo in. So I'm gonna create a new board. I'm gonna call this first board, call this YouTube content. Okay, and I'm gonna make it, let's just pick something that's red so I can easily see it. Wow, that's bright red. I'm gonna go back to my boards. I'm gonna create another board. And I'm gonna call this one podcast content. So I have two boards now. Let's go back. So I have two boards. Okay, so I'll just I'm gonna add a board for my podcast. I'm gonna call this podcast content. All right, so if I go back to boards on the Banks Media, I got two boards. So I got podcast content and YouTube content. I guess I can make those start. Okay. So under my YouTube content, instead of to do, I'm gonna rename that. I'm gonna call it brainstorming. And so basically you have a board and then you have what's called a list. And then out of that list, you create cards. So each card would be kind of a marketing, or each card would become a topic. So I could say 10 steps to quitting your job in 2018. And then 5 steps to determine if you are ready to be an entrepreneur. All right, so I can create cards, and then in that card, I could put some more detail. So I could say step 1, step 2, step 3, and then I can use these steps when it's time to do my YouTube video. I could actually paste those in. And I'm thinking out loud. This is the first time I'm doing this, so this is a very raw video. And I could put a due date on it. So I'm all about planning, setting a schedule. If you watch any of my other videos, I use the 10X planner from Grant Cardone. And having a plan and having a planner so you can plan your day and schedule your day is paramount as an entrepreneur. Being an employee, I remember, getting up in the morning, showing up for work. I knew that I had a few things I wanted to get done, but the rest of my day was driven by someone else's agenda. And now that I'm an entrepreneur, have my own businesses, I have 2 businesses, I have to really schedule my day, because if you don't watch it, you could spend a lot of time, especially if you're doing internet type businesses. Get rid of the Facebooks, Instagram, all those things that are detracting from you, getting some content out, talking to customers, all the things that are going to help, sow those seeds and help you generate revenue later. So having a good plan, I'm all about using apps and using tools that'll help make things more efficient and help me document. What I ultimately want to do, as I grow my business, my next step is hiring virtual admins, and then having something like this. Right now I do everything myself. I do my own video work, I do my audio work, I do my own thumbnails. So eventually I can create a workflow here and say, okay, brainstorming, and then I could say shoot video, and then I can drag this card over here, and then it tells me it's time to shoot that video. Then I can say edit video, / create thumbnail. Actually, that's it. Normally what I do right now, I'll record a video. I might do 1 or 2 in batch, and then I'll go ahead and edit the video, upload it to YouTube. While it's uploading, I'll go out and make a thumbnail. That's kind of how I've been doing it lately. So probably to get more efficient, I'll probably start recording more videos and edit them as I have time to build up my list, and then start creating my thumbnails as I go. Sometimes one tip is you can do your thumbnail in Canva, or right in YouTube while your video is uploading. I use a plugin called TubeBuddy, and I can create a thumbnail basically from a frame in the video. So I'll kind of scroll through, especially if it's just me in a vehicle driving. I'll try to capture myself in action, and then I'll use that to create a thumbnail, and I can create the text right in within YouTube. So create thumbnail, and basically what happens is once this is done, I'll just drag it over, and that's basically how it works. So this is pretty cool. And then ready to post. Okay, so that's basically it. And I'll go through and do the same thing for my podcast. So let's back up. Let's go to my podcast. So I have to add a list first. So I will say it's brainstorming. And then I will say this is ready to record. I probably could have copied the other board, but ready to record. Then my next step would be edit audio and post to, I use anchor.fm. So I had another video on how to do my podcast. And if you're not using Anchor, it's the easiest way to do a podcast. Basically, there's an app on your phone. You can download the app for Android or iOS. You can record everything right to your phone, just talking to your phone. And just look at my previous video. I'll put the notes or put the link in the notes below. But basically, I just record on my computer, create MP3 files, and then basically upload them, and boom, you're syndicated to iTunes and 3 or 4 other different formats where you can download your podcast. It's very simple. All right, so edit my audio and then post audio to Anchor. Bam. And that's it. And then I can start creating my content. So right now I've been talking a lot about, entrepreneur mindset, overcoming fear, taking action. And I put a lot of things in there about, motivation. So I'll grab some clips from some of my motivational speakers, Jim Brown, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, different people like that, just to kind of get you motivated. So go look at episode 10, anchor.fm/Rudy Banks. Check that episode out. I use that a lot of the mornings when I'm first getting up because it's very motivational for me, especially after a late night. Right now I'm recording this video. It's actually 1:49 a.m. in the morning, but I want to bring you great content and share content, so I'm doing it. But anyway, go check that episode out, and it's good content for you. All right, so brainstorming. 5 steps to financial freedom. And what I see a lot of people doing, sometimes they'll take their YouTube video and then basically just export that audio. Depends. If I'm doing a tutorial, I probably wouldn't do that on my podcast. But if I'm giving some mindset talks and inspirational, you can kind of double dip. Take that YouTube video, export the audio, and then dump that to your podcast. So I want to get smarter at it because creating content daily is a big task. But ultimately, if I can share what I know, invest in my audience, I know that you're going to get some value, and at some point, that love and all that energy is going to be reciprocated back. That's what it's all about. Okay, so that's basically it. I've got everything in. So if I go back, if I look at my Banks Media, I've got my podcast content, I've got my YouTube content, and that's all I'm going to focus on. Because if I do YouTube videos right now, I just push that to Twitter. I can push that to my Facebook page. That's all I can manage right now on my own. I guess I do have an Instagram, but it's not really. That's kind of my personal stuff. So I could actually load something here, but I just want to focus right on my podcast and my YouTube content right now, so I can really bring quality information. So that's basically Trello. I think it's pretty easy to get used to. I can actually add checklists, create a checklist, and so I can say, does it meet this criteria, or do I have step 1, 2, 3, and 4 completed before I drag it to the next step? Or if I have somebody, editing my video or my podcast content for me, I can put a checklist in there. And now you got standard work. That's one of the biggest things I learned, through GE and, lean methodologies, like having standard work. Regardless of who the person is following your direction or following the rules, if you have a standard work, you can manage that process better than you're going to manage the people. So have a solid process. I can do labels, so I can put different colors based on the content. I can put a due date on it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I like it. So, and I believe there's an app that you can load on your phone for iOS and Android. So that way I can edit this stuff on the fly. But again, before I was gonna, I was working through a Google spreadsheet, and just you would have to have different tabs or different columns rather in your spreadsheet. So you could basically have this as one column in your spreadsheet, but then you would have to have check boxes and stuff. So it's really easy here to manage because it's a card. I can drag it over, drag it over, drag it over, and I'm done. So I really like that. Hey guys, right after I finished this video, I actually checked my email, and I guess a good sign of a software application is if you can just click through it and find your way around, then it's a pretty good application. I actually did receive an email from Trello. It's basically their Trello 101 guide. So I'm just gonna click on that for you, and we'll see what that does for us. So it looks like there's a video. So there's a video walkthrough. There's a nice, how to create a board. There's a video for every one of these. So that's pretty cool. If you looked at the video I did, you can see how easy it was to set up. But here you can see how you can use it. So I just showed you one example of how to use Trello for your YouTube channel, your podcast content. But it's very intuitive. So well done, Trello. Pro tips. So this is cool. It'll teach you some keyboard shortcuts if you're really gonna get heavy into this. So as you recall, I started from a Excel spreadsheet, so I asked that I could bring this in from my spreadsheet and automatically create cards. So I think that's pretty cool. So that's one way to convert from your Excel to Trello. So at least you don't lose all your previous work. Shows you how to migrate from other tools. So yeah, I just stumbled on this. I was checking my email, and actually that came in after the fact. So I got up and running, got ahead of myself. So just wanted to show you that. So it's basically Trello.com and then guide. If you do that, it'll take you through all these trainings and tips. So, all right. So what I'll do, I'll use this for a little bit, and then I'll plan on shooting another video, give you an update on how well this is working for me. So basically Trello, go to Trello.com, sign up for an account, acknowledge the email, and you're off and running. And then you can always add your teammates if you got other people collaborating with you. So very simple. All right, have a great night. See you.